Well, the Foreign Secretary is still with me, and we are joined once more by Nigel Farage and Deborah Haynes. So thank you for staying. I'm just you can sort it all out now. You two, this in-out referendum, can you? Has he said what you wanted to hear?
Well, as I say, you'll have to wait for the speech. I'm sure he's waiting for the speech as well.
It's very clear what the Foreign Secretary said, that he wants us to stay in the European Union and he wants it to change. And I think what's really happening here is we'll get the speech and then the Conservative Party will launch a 5-year campaign to try and keep us in the European Union. It's very clear now exactly what the terms are going to be. And it's all reminiscent of 1975, really, isn't it? When Harold Wilson came back with a cosmetic renegotiation.
Don't let him take over here, Foreign Secretary. You can
well, it's about
come back on it.
In this country, and in the end, the people will have their say in general elections, in referendums, whatever it may be.
But 5 years, Foreign Secretary.
Yes, but it is very important, not only for people to be able to see what happens in the Eurozone crisis, how that affects the rest of the European Union, and to see whether we can succeed and how we can succeed in improving our relationship with you. I think people will want to know the answer to those questions.
Watching this at the end, is this a good use of political time for the governing party, do you think?
Well, at a time like at the moment when you're facing a massive crisis in Africa, I guess it is a bit of maybe a diversion, but it is a huge issue that affects everyone in this country. And people are really, people care more about that maybe than they do about Al-Qaeda killing people in Africa. I don't know. Well,
I guess compared to the economy and all those issues you deal with every day, I mean, one of the 2001 election, which we mentioned, you in the end went back to some more local issues, didn't you?
Well, all of these issues matter in politics, of course, and then what happens in the European Union matters. It affects so many things, so many aspects of people's lives.
It
does. You agree?
So, absolutely, I agree with that entirely.
And some would argue negatively, some would argue positively, some would say there is a mixture and that we have to improve how much of that affects our lives positively.
But we don't
I think that would be the majority view in the...
And the trouble is, David Cameron before gave us a cast-iron guarantee. He'd give us a referendum over Lisbon, and this becomes a question of trust.
OK, thank you all very much indeed.